Author and columnist Mark Steyn joins us. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to see you, Brian.
All right, it's been way too long. Where do you stand on this boycott mania?
Well, I think, as Chadwick was saying, they're doing this to make an example, to say that they take seriously the idea of the deplorables, that there are 60 million people who voted for Donald Trump, but none of them matter. And so if you are prepared to put your neck out and hold a fundraiser for Donald Trump in the Hamptons, you can't do that. You can't be one of the beautiful people. You can't go to any of the fashionable post-Oscar parties. You can't be at the Broadway first nights. You can be one of those 60 million deplorables somewhere out of sight. But if you're a billionaire and you're someone who should be a member of the liberal elite and you step out of that little box, they're going to destroy you. To teach other members of the elite, you don't go anywhere near Donald Trump.
Are we still pretending as if we don't get Donald Trump? He's been in the public eye for decades. He's been president now for 3 years. He's been running for 2. And we know what happens. It's not a matter of who you are, the color of your skin, or your gender. Are you attacking him? Elijah Cummings attacked his Homeland Security secretary. The president attacked Elijah Cummings, not because he's black. It doesn't mean he's racist. The squad came after President Trump. He went back, not because they're women, not because they're minorities, because they attacked him. We know this combination, don't we?
Yeah, and realistically, Donald Trump is a New York businessman. And if you're there on Fifth Avenue doing business, you're doing business with people of every skin color, every conceivable orientation, every conceivable type of non-binary, whatever you want to call it. But as Tucker was saying, I think just a couple of nights ago, they use race and identity politics, the left does, as a cover for class. And actually, elite versus deplorables is actually how they see it.
All right. I know you wish Tucker was here. You keep referring back to him. He is fishing with his son. Another thing.
No. You're doing great, Brian. Right. Don't get demoralized.
You got it. There's a really strange movie coming out next month. Universal is releasing a new film. It's called The Hunt. The movie's heroes are several so-called deplorables from red states who have to fight back after several rich liberals kidnap them and try to murder them for sport. Mark, I love the plot. What could possibly be wrong with it?
Well, you know, I will say this. I get bored by X-Men 37, in which Cardboard Man battles Franchise Girl up in the sky and rips a hole in the space-time continuum. So I actually approve of making films telling stories about the way we live now. We live in an increasingly fractious 50-50 nation, and if you're a playwright, if you're a novelist, if you're a filmmaker, why wouldn't you want to address that? The interesting thing to me is how they treat this. And again, it's the same condescension we've just seen, that essentially it's elites who decide they're going to hunt deplorables because they've seen their tweets identifying themselves as pro-life, anti-abortion. And it is actually the liberal Twitter storm fantasy taken to the next level. On Twitter, they just destroy your career, get you fired, close down your restaurant. But this so-called satire actually wants to take it to the next level and make it actually take the cold Civil War and make it a hot Civil War.
Well, okay, so you're happy it's not a Marvel movie or a Star Wars 29. But I will say this, they pulled the promos for it, but not the movie. Next, another Hollywood story for you, because I know you love the elite. Actress Rosanna Arquette gets a lot of trophies, and she just made a bizarre apology for her skin color in a tweet yesterday. Let's go to it. She says this: "I am sorry I was born white and privileged. It disgusts me, and I feel so much shame." Mark, your witness.
Yeah. Again, this gets back to, I think, that class thing. We have an issue here with Rosanna Arquette, who's lived the most privileged life in one of the most luxurious niche societies in Hollywood that has ever existed on the planet. She doesn't mean this. She does not mean this at all. And this idea of taking virtue signaling where Kirsten Gillibrand did this at one of the debates. She was, oh, yes, I'm a white woman of privilege too. Meanwhile, you have someone like Cory Booker, who's been to Harvard, Oxford, and Yale Law School, the three best universities on the planet, pretending he's like some homie from the hood. This identity politics virtue signaling is now departing from any conceivable reality.
It's a shame we've gotten to this. I think most people can see through it. We're not looking at the color of people's skin. It's really the content of their character. And I'd rather not be dragged into it, but it keeps popping up, and it's all over these debates coming up again in September. Mark, we've hit you with a lot, and you're just back from your sabbatical. I don't know quite where you are, where you were, but are you okay with all this work?
Yeah, I don't mind multi-topics. I was just at my luxurious beach house on the Somali Riviera, Brian. It's beautiful there. Property's very reasonable.
All right, good. Don't apologize for it. Mark Steyn, thank you so much.